How everybody, Ian here, and we're back from a couple of weeks of train shows. We start off with the Granite City train show in St. Cloud, Minnesota. It's a small one-day show, and we've been going to that for the best part of 20 years, maybe longer. So it's a fun show, and it's a show we're very familiar with, and everybody who goes is the same people who turn up every year. So it's very friendly, very sociable. So we enjoy being there, seeing the same people every time, and just chatting with old friends as you go through the day. There's a good mixture of layouts. There's big modular things from the Granite City O gauges. Unfortunately, that's a 3-rail Lionel setup, and I can't abide 3-rail Lionel, but there's a good mix of big layouts and smaller layouts. You might have like a dozen layouts there. So yeah, it's a good little show. So we used it as a test bed for Bontofts here, and we had the most unusual thing happen. And it involved the tipping material that I use. I'd been testing here for the longest time, and everything was working perfectly. The tipper would tip and the skips would empty pretty reasonably well. But in the exhibition hall, I don't know whether it was like humidity or what, but the skips just wouldn't empty in the way that I wanted to, and we were having to use the ram that that tipped the skip. We had to use that in ways it wasn't meant to be used, to like prod the stuff out and into the van. So it wore out. I broke it. I broke the prodder on the very first shove of the wagon. I tipped the wagon and saw that the material wasn't tipping, so I had to like shove and try and catch it and vibrate it and shake it to see if I could get the material to tip out, and well, broke the push rod. So I had to effect a temporary repair. Luckily, it's styrene, so it was able to be glued together pretty easily. So the other thing was the what I made here to hold the wagon in place as the wagon was, as the skip was tipped, and this was also getting shook around a lot with the vibrations, so it came loose, and I had to glue that in place. So that was a couple of things to fix in the few days that I had between the St. Cloud show and heading out to Milwaukee. So, but the people love the layout. They love to watch the loading. They love to watch the tipping. So we are really onto a winner with the layout. And the Volkswagen Combi utility truck there worked really well to be tipped into. So that was it for St. Cloud. the layout worked. So we were happy with the way things were going, and those simple repairs were effected in a couple of days. And so we, while we were there, we received an invite to the Randolph, Minnesota train show, which is a 2-day show in March 24th and 25th, I think. So we will probably be going to that. So with that, we went home and worked on the layout a little bit to get it ready for Trainfest. Now we made a long weekend of it. We had a easy drive over on the Thursday, played tourists for most of Friday before setting up the layout on Friday afternoon ready for the show. And the touristy thing we did was we went to the Harley Davidson Museum. Now, I'm not really a motorbikey person, but I really enjoyed the museum and can highly recommend it. It had everything there from the very first Harley Davidson to all the latest models. And as an old car sort of person, I could really appreciate the very oldest Harleys, the pre-1930s Harleys, let's say. They were fascinating to look at. So really good exhibition. We were after 3 hours, we hadn't seen it all, but we were well and truly motorbiked out. So we had some lunch in their motor bar. Can recommend the burnt ends there. Very good. And so after that, we just headed up the road half a mile to the exhibition hall where we set up Bontofts. Now, the great thing about a exhibition hall that's 170,000 square feet in area is you can pretty much just drive up to your spot, take the stuff out, set it up, and drive away. And indeed, we were in and out of the exhibition hall and set up, in 20 minutes, half an hour. So that was really cool. Now, Bontoft's setup, of course, as you know, is pretty minimal, but it's really appreciated to be able to drive right up close to your exhibition spot and get ready just like that. So with that, we were ready to go the next day. So to the show. Like I said, the exhibition hall is 170,000 square feet, and that's an awful lot, which meant even though the doors opened at 9 a.m., it took 15 minutes for the punters to get over to our side of the hall where our layout was, because they had to come through all the traders to get to our area. So yeah, it was 9:15 before we actually saw anybody. So now, as usual with the layout, it performed perfectly, and the tipping, the loading and the tipping worked. The tipper still having problems with emptying the wagons. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's the humidity. Somebody did suggest that I should put some silica gel in the container that I keep the material in to get any humidity out, and I might just try that. Of course, we know that we're onto a really good thing here with the tipping, because kids love it. The parents love pointing out what's happening to the kids, and then of course the serious modeler gets into the conversation about how it actually works, how I'm actually doing it. And talking with serious modelers, it was so great to see so many dispatch readers and YouTube channel subscribers. So there was John, there was Paul, there was Jim, there was Roger, I'm sorry if I forget all your names, but there was a lot of people there, and it was great to talk to you, because when I'm talking to you like this, I don't know don't really know how things are being received. So to actually get positive feedback from people there was great, and I really appreciated that. And of course, when you turn up towards the end of a long, hard day, then that kind of conversation really gets your spirits up. So thank you, everybody. It was really appreciated. And well, what about other layouts for the show? Was there any micro layout content? Well, not really. Don't forget. I mean, it's a huge show, and well, it's impossible for me to get all the way around and see everything. So maybe I missed something, but mostly this is a show for the huge behemoths, the huge modular layouts rather than the small layouts. And our little layout felt rather lost in there in times, and it would be nice if there could be some other a lot of other smaller layouts in there. I saw one HO Roundy that was about 10 feet square maybe, and then there was another ON3 layout that was 15 feet long and 18 inches deep, but I never actually saw anybody at that layout, so can't speak for any others. I mean, there was some very nice traction modeling on show there, and traction modeling is always good for getting some micro layout ideas with the tight curves and such like. And there was traction layouts in HO and O. In fact, there was like 1, 2, 3. There could have been 4 or 5 traction layouts of various scales and prototypes, which is actually quite refreshing. On the Kato, or is it Kato? It's Kato stand. Maybe it's Kato in the US and Kato in the UK, or vice versa. I don't know. But anyway, they had a stand there, and there was something very exciting there that they were running a demonstration stand where children and adults could make the mini pocket diorama stands. And there was always lots of people here when I would walk past. I didn't get to walk past many times. When I walked past, there was always at least 20 people at the tables around the demo area making these little diorama module stands and decorating them to their heart's content. And I saw several proud children and adults walking around the show, walking past Bontofts, and they were carrying their Kato modules that they were made. So this was really good, and I really applaud Kato for doing this. It was an excellent idea. There was, however, one layout that really impressed me, really caught my eye, and that was the Midwest Modutrack N-scale layout. Now, it was modular, it was huge, but it was so good. It was so well executed. It was to the same consistent high standard all the way across the board. And with some of these modular systems like N-Track, T-Track, you'll get modelers making a layout to a section to their own standard, and that will go up against somebody else's section at a different standard. But this was the same standard across the board, and it looked absolutely wonderful. I mean, I enjoyed stopping and looking at that layout a lot, and it was right on my route to the bathroom, so every time I went on a potty break, I would stop and have a look at the layout, so I saw it quite often. Like I say, the standard of modeling was high, and the time they concentrated on a particular time period for the scenery and the location, and in a way it was like watching Pendon. It's similar to Pendon. Now it's not right to compare these 18-inch deep slices of baseboard with the acres of space that is Pendon, but there's a similar attitude and look and feel to both these things, and I really enjoyed the layout. Of course, being a huge modular layout, suffered with the one train in 150 feet of track syndrome. You could stand there and not see anything for several minutes. And indeed I did. But I did stand there a few times and see trains as well. But several times I stood there and didn't see a thing for several minutes. So that's my big drawback with modular layouts. That's what I don't like about modular layouts. But I have thought of a way around this. There was one module on there that could have been used as a standalone micro, and I'm showing you that. You're seeing the pictures now, and there was 2 industries served by track on like an Inglenook track plan, and so it would be very easy to work that with just to be able to switch wagons in and out of it. And there's trains always running around this huge modular thing, and they could have a stopping freight that stops at this industrial complex, and then a switcher takes some freight cars and switches them in and out of the industries, and then later on in the day when the stopping freight comes around again, the stopping freight can pick those up. I mean, that's a totally prototypical railway happening. So I don't know why that kind of thing isn't done. Maybe if some modelers are watching this video, you can chime in and tell me why this doesn't happen, or if it even does happen and I've just not seen it, because I would be up for building a module of some line side industries that could be worked and switched separately from the main layout, and I think if there were several of these line side industry complexes all around a huge modular layout, that's always something happening somewhere that you could see, rather than waiting for a train to come round every 3 or 4 minutes. So yeah, all in all, this was a really good day. Really enjoyed everything. We enjoyed the Harley Davidson place as well, and so we had a really good time. And our layout was just across the way from a stand publicising the Colfax, Wisconsin Railway Museum, and they have a show in August of 2025 coming up, and well, we will be there with Bontofts, so maybe we'll see you in Colfax. So that was it, really. It was 2 hectic days, 2 fun days, and well, some bits to work on in the winter months to get this ready for a couple of shows next year. But like I say, we had a really good time. We had fun. That was the important thing. So it's like I always say, build that model, lay that track, run that train, but above all, have fun. We'll see you next time.